How's it going, guys? So thank you for watching like always. First thing I wanted to say is thank you to my sponsor, Citadel Nutrition. I definitely don't give them a shout out as frequently as I should. And let's jump into some of the footage. Starting off here, this is week 6 of the Cube. I had a max effort squat day, which is pretty much 3 sets of 2. Also, what you'll notice in this video, just a quick kind of point, there should be some music kind of playing in the background. I wanted to kind of give some originality to some of my videos, since they can kind of become redundant after a while. So I'll probably just play like a track or two that I was listening to during that training session, just to kind of give you guys some ideas of stuff that I'll listen to, and then maybe you guys can listen to the song if you do or don't like it, and kind of go from there. I think it's kind of interesting to see what people listen to, and my stuff will really fluctuate kind of depending on the training session and how serious I am and how I'm feeling on that day. So I'll just kind of give you guys some ideas. Any feedback on that would be cool. So yeah, starting off, what I had was 3 sets of doubles. And pretty much I kind of just started off with something I knew I could hit. I think my first set was 375, and then my second set you just saw there should have been 385. And this was my top set, 390 for a double. The overwhelming theme of this day was that my descent on all of my squats was really slow. I think that I really tried to drop in the hole on this last 390 there. You saw that was really quick, and that was probably too quick, and the rep before that was too slow. We kind of need to find a good in-between there, but I definitely think if you're too timid, I remember having this problem the first time I think I missed like 390 or 385 squat, something like that. The only reason I really thought I missed it is because I went down way too slow and kind of had no momentum out of the bottom. And this was the, so I followed off with 2 sets of, I think it was 1 to 2 high bar squats. Kind of got some different angles here. This was my top set, 340. So this is definitely a recent high bar PR for me. This didn't feel too bad at all, and actually the more I do high bar, the kind of better it feels, and it feels like it's a lot less stress on my hips. So I'm thinking about, once I finish the Cube, I anticipate not doing another session of it, or cycle, whatever you want to call it. But my anticipation is I want to go back to squatting a little more frequently, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I kind of have some ideas with that. But I'll probably go with high bar. Also, for another reason I'll go high bar is to switch back to sumo deadlifts, so that way I can kind of give my hips a little bit of a break. Because I think, you know, me squatting low bar or lower bar and trying to pull sumo at the same time just wrecks my hips. I can't do it for very long. So I feel like if I want to switch back to sumo, I should switch back to high bar squats. It'll kind of give me a good mix up, and overall it will probably build up my low bar whenever I go back to it. Just kind of like how my conventional deadlift has indirectly built up my sumo. So yeah, just kind of some more squats here. These was, I think it was 3 to 5 reps. So it was 2 sets of 3 to 5 reps on these pause squats. I really tried to, I thought I could go a little bit heavier in this, but I really wanted to do was make sure the pauses were honest. I didn't have anyone counting for me today, so I wanted to make sure I was really stopping in the hole. So I just called it at 315.
With Alzheimer's, line up, please. All mommies with mind freeze, please. Line up, please. All bloggers with comments.
All right, moving on to the second day here. This was bench explosive day. This was a pretty easy day. I think this is the only actual double that I had. It was 6 sets of doubles. I didn't really even film it because it was so light. Honestly, they all felt really fast, which was a good sign. It's only 190 pounds, but bench press felt good this week. And this was a close grip 205. And I kind of restricted my rest periods here as well, so it's a little bit harder than it probably should have been. I think this week I try to get everything under 90 seconds. I was kind of doing some more hamstring work since I skipped it on my squat day. Yeah, so I think I just have my 2 sets of close grip, 205 for 5. Again, this isn't really challenging. I think I've done a 240 double or triple close grip, so this for 5 wasn't too bad. And these explosive days kind of, it reminded me of like a Jim Windler 531 deload, where you kind of just, you're getting some work in. It's not super light, but it's definitely nothing challenging where you think you're not going to hit the rep. And I've talked about this a lot in the past, but just good practice. And this was my last set. I had 2 sets of 6 at pause bench press. at 175. Overall, really pleased with how the bench press went, and feeling pretty recovered. I think I have rep week next week, which will probably be pretty heavy. So this was my last day of the week, and deadlifts went really well. Last week pulling explosively, only like a 335, felt really good. So I was excited about what I was going to pull today. I was really excited for this workout too. This was a day after Christmas, so I took Christmas off and was really motivated to do this workout. So this was just kind of my first 2 warm-up sets. That was a 315 for a double there, and then it was rep day, so it called for 3 sets of 4 to 8. And I was kind of picking, I just had like number 5 in my head for some reason. I definitely could have stuck with maybe a little bit lesser weight and worked on the higher end of the range, but 5 reps is plenty for me, honestly, on deadlifts right now. That was my first set there, 365. I think the program called for 380, which I'm pretty sure I was capable of, but again, I'm not kind of a slave to the numbers. I see how I feel, I kind of go from there. So that 365 felt really good, so I moved it up to 375. I believe all of these sets were actually PRs, because I don't remember the last time I pulled a really heavy set of 5 of deadlifts. It wasn't like maybe 315 or something, or 335. So quite a significant jump on all of these sets. And actually, I was pretty pleased with my form from switching with putting shoes on, which I just did. I think this last week, and of course this week, as you can see. I never really thought it would help me. Every time I've had shoes on, I feel like it's hindered me, and I would actually usually tell people to pull their shoes off if they can, but I feel a lot better. I think it's kind of some of the subtle adjustments I've made to my form. I've made my feet, and then again, of course, my hands a little bit wider on my grip, and I've also turned my feet out a little bit more, so I'm in a little bit more athletic stance. I feel like I'm about to do a vertical jump. And I feel more explosive that way, as opposed to having my feet so pointed straight forward. I just feel in a more natural position to pull, and I think it's really helped me. Then this was, I had 2 sets of 2 to 3 reps of block pulls, so I just, again, this wasn't what the program, I think the program was 405, I kind of just saw how I felt. So this 390, especially that second rep, felt really good, so I bumped it up to 395 on the last set, and pulled it for a triple, which was the kind of max I could have done. And these felt pretty good. Then I ended up scratching these deficits. I think I mentioned this last week. I just did some leg curls. I feel like deficits, especially when I'm getting up to heavy weight, this probably would have been, a 360 plus deficit if I would have calculated it out. With my mobility that I have right now, I just think it's more harm than good, if I can say that right. And yeah, we substituted it with some lying leg curls, and then I just did like 3 sets of pull-ups, AMRAP, and then this would kind of show you guys some Metcon stuff that I did today. I don't really program Metcons in very often. I kind of do them when I feel like it, so I may do 1 a week or twice a week, and then not do it for a while, and then do 1 a week, kind of just my schedule and stuff. This being a Christmas break or winter break for me, I felt a lot more free time, so I decided to do like a little 15-20 minute Metcon. Again, this is nothing like compared to a lot what the CrossFitters will do. This is kind of some fun stuff I like to do to have some aerobic capacity and whatnot. So I actually ended up doing 10 just body weight overhead box squats, because I don't think I can do normal overhead squats. But I really like those movements. It's a great, but for me, it can be a great tool to kind of work on my ankle flexibility, and definitely doesn't put too much stress on my knees and hips, just a body weight, pretty much a body weight with a bar over my head. And then I did a 15 reps of this ab crunch machine. It's actually the best machine I've ever used for my abs. It's at my home gym where I went to high school at and stuff. It's just phenomenal. I don't know, who makes it or whatever, but it's awesome. I feel I have great ab contractions there. So I ended up doing 10 overhead squats, 15 crunches on that machine, 10 hammer curls for the girls, and then 15 hanging leg raises. I repeated that 4 times. It took me like 14 minutes, I think, and I actually had to switch some stuff for the overhead box squats, 'cause a little too high, so I manipulated that a little bit. So it probably would have took me like 12 ish minutes to complete. Nothing too incredibly hard. I've definitely done Metcons a lot harder than this. Again, I just kind of throw some things together at the end of my workout and have some fun. But that's the video, guys. Yep, I got week 7 coming up. Only a few more weeks with this program.